What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a new video. Haven't posted in a little bit. I've been doing a dopamine detox. I've just taken myself away from social media, re-clearing my mind. Back now, definitely back now. So I did trade this week. I just didn't upload anything on social media, nor did I make any trade recap videos or anything. So in this video, I want to go over every single trade that I took. So this is going to be 4 trade recaps in one. This week was not my best performing week. As you guys can see, we took 3 losses and 1 win. Unfortunately, we missed a winning trade on this day as well. We took this trade here, and you guys will see why it was only a 1-to-1 risk to reward. But this day in PM session, we had a very nice shorting opportunity, which is like exactly what I wanted to see. And unfortunately, I was busy and not on the charts when that came up. So fortunately, did not catch that beautiful trade there, which would have taken me out of the negatives. But that's okay. It's not a problem. But I want to go over the trades of the day. So first things first, this is our trade for... What day is this for? This is for October 15th. So first trade, obviously you guys can see we took a loss. You can see our confluence is bullish, higher time frame, inverse of a 1 hour fair value gap. This 1 hour fair value gap respect, I actually need to change that to a 15. We had a 2-minute inverse fair value gap, retrace, entry long. My notes should have been do not trade against low resistant liquidity like this. This is very clean low resistant liquidity. During session, I actually was talking to myself saying this low resistant liquidity looks really good for a target. I should actually, I was thinking of taking a trade to the low resistance, and personally I honestly wanted to see this high be swept and then take the trade to this low resistant liquidity. So this day was honestly, I did rush the trade, but I will go over it on the actual charts here. So as you guys can see, we have this LRL right here. So we have all this LRL. We have this high here, which I wanted us to target and maybe even get an SMT to then go to the downside. We are respecting this 15-minute fair value gap right here. And what I should have kept my eye open for was the fact that we inversed this 1 hour here. This 1 hour fair value gap, we inversed it to the downside. So that should have been my first indication telling me, hey, we might be going to the downside. Because I was looking at this, obviously we pushed up, but now we inversed one of them. We might be going to unfilled. Number 2, you guys can obviously see we disrespected this bullish fair value gap. That's why I decided to go long. So at 6 o'clock, as soon as we disrespected this, I said, all right, I'll go ahead. You guys can see we did disrespect it and then just tank. So we disrespected this fair value gap, and that's why I was like, okay, maybe we are long. So I went down to the 15, saw we were respecting this 15. We did have all this low resistant liquidity. So the fact that we disrespected the 1 hour, my thought was, okay, this high is our next target. So I would either A, want to trade to that high, or wait for this high to get hit and then trade and take out all the LRL. Neither happened. We didn't trade to either of them. We did take out all of these equal highs here, but what I saw was we were respecting this 15-minute here, and then I dropped into the 2-minute, I believe, and entered my trade. I believe I entered off this fair value gap here. So what I did was, because I thought this was going to go up, right? I just recently said that we were respecting this 15-minute fair value gap. So once we disrespected this with this candle, come back down for the retracement, entered off of this up close candle because I wanted to see some respection coming off this 1 out, or this 2-minute fair value gap, which I shouldn't have even entered this trade to begin with, to be honest, because we did close out of it on this down candle. So overall, I mean, very avoidable trade. It wasn't pretty good. It was an okay trade. I know some people did take this trade, exact one, and they got stopped out of some of my buddies that I texted. Overall, I would say it was a B setup. Like, it was not A plus, I can tell you that. That low resistant liquidity just looks so good to take out. Probably should have waited either A, for that to be taken out, or B, trade to that low resistant liquidity, even though we didn't get a liquidity sweep. But overall, I mean, we're bullish because that inverse here, that should have been respected. Overall, I don't know. Not upset that I took the trade, but not happy that I traded against low resistant liquidity. So that is trade number 1. Now, all right, now trade number 2. You guys can see on this trade, really nice trade. Everything about this trade was awesome. I followed the rules, everything. Like, I'm not upset about this whatsoever. Our confluences was higher time frame liquidity sweep, bullish bias, unfilled 15-minute fair value gap, unfilled 5 minutes above, and 2-minute inverse fair value gap entry. This is a mechanical model. I'd take this pretty much almost every time. The problem was we just look at this. We got wicked out. So price comes down. I entered on a 2-minute fair value gap. Yeah, entered on 2-minute inverse fair value gaps, which was right in here. Price comes up, comes down, wicks me out, then rips up to the unfilled 5-minute, and then continues to the unfilled 15. So I got everything right here. The bias was right. The trade idea was right. We just got wicked out. So I wasn't upset with this. It is what it is. This happens. I mean, it's just trading, right? So this happens all the time. But unfortunately, it does happen quite often sometimes. But that was trade number 1. So trade number 2 was another loss as well, and I went short. So what happened here? So after all of that happened on the first trade, we opened up a 15-minute fair value gap. So I was like, okay, perfect. We have an unfilled 15. We're in the middle of it. We're in the equilibrium of this 15-minute fair value gap. We could potentially look for a short down to like an unfilled 5. So we had higher time frame fair value gap, which was that 15-minute fair value gap. We had a 15-minute rebalance. We had that 15-minute rebalance. We had unfilled 5-minute below. Perfect. We had equilibrium of the 15, which I just wrote up there. And then we had another 2-minute inverse fair value gap entry. Obviously, that 2-minute failed. And I just wrote I probably shouldn't have traded against my original bias, as the higher time frame was telling me that it was higher. The drawn liquidity was higher, and it was drawing towards that higher up 15-minute fair value gap, which was higher. Overall, I'm not too thrilled I took against a bias trade, because I woke up telling myself I'm bullish. Overall, I'm not too thrilled. Like, we'll go over the chart here. So you guys can clearly see, like, I wouldn't want to sell this low, right? We have all of this liquidity that's been taken. All of this liquidity has been taken, right? So we've taken out so much sell side liquidity. That was the 15-minute fair value gap I wanted to short off of. And as you can see, there was an area that you could have taken a short, and it actually would have played out. But unfortunately, we just didn't get in on the right time. So I entered off of this inverse 2 minutes, or this 2-minute inverse fair value gap here. Boom. And then unfortunately, it wanted one more leg up to refill a little bit higher, come up and refill the 5-minute a little bit more, and then keep going lower. Overall, I mean, it wasn't the greatest trading day, as you guys can see. Like, just price was choppy around. But that was the first move. Second move would have been this leg down. Unfortunately, we just got in a little too early. So I would rate the first trade good. First trade was good. I actually have nothing wrong with that. It's just an unfortunate event. And trade number 2, I would say just not trading against the original bias I had. But it was a good setup. It was nice and it was clean, so I cannot complain about that. Now, trade number 4, which was unfortunate in a way. Very unfortunate. We still took a win, but unfortunate. So as I wrote here, so close to take profit too, then it tanked. I was exited out once with the inversion of a 1-minute fair value gap. As you guys can see what happened. Super unfortunate. But basically, what I saw was we were delivering off of a 4-hour fair value gap, which was this 4-hour box down here. We had a 15-minute unfilled above and 2 5-minute unfilled above. And my thought process was we're going to trade to that 15-minute unfilled at some point. My entry allowed me to have my 1 to 2 at the unfilled 5, and I thought if we were truly bullish, we're probably going to push through that unfilled 5 to go and reach for that unfilled 15. So I entered on a 1 minute inversion fair value gap, which you can see right here. And what happened was price comes up, breaks through this one, taps into this one, and so I was looking at the chart here telling myself, as you guys can see, there's this 1 minute fair value gap here that's been held, that was holding. I told myself if this gets disrespected and closed below, if like this gets closed and turns into an inversion, I'm gonna exit the trade. And as you can see, boom, closes out. I closed my trade at 1 to 1, so that's basically a 1 to 1, and then it tanks down right to my entry. And if we go over the chart here, go over the chart, so you can see that was my entry here, and then price comes down, never actually takes out this low, so your stop would have been down here. So if you would have held through that, the drawn liquidity was correct, which was to this 15-minute unfilled fair value gap right here. So that was my main draw. Drawn liquidity was correct. It just, the entry was just price was a little bit choppy. And I'll be honest, this whole week has been a little bit choppy. This whole week hasn't been great. As you guys can like tell, on Friday we had barcode, so Friday was disgusting. And if you just look at the weekly candle, right, we had just got a giant doji candle in the week, and it's just the probabilities when the charts like this are lower. Same thing would have been with this week, same thing would have been with this week, and so forth. So overall, the fact that I've only lost 0.5% this week, I'm very happy, because I know some people have lost more than 0.5%. I know some people are break even, and if you are green, good on you. Good on you for risk management. Good on you for that, because this was not an easy week. Coming into the next week, I do believe we probably will be going higher, as we have inversed this fair value gap here. I do want to see this high get taken on NASDAQ, as well as we're at all-time highs on ES, and what ICT says, you know, keep longing until proven wrong. So probably coming into the next week, still going to be bullish, but other than that, that's the trades of the week. A few learning lessons, few unfortunate lessons. That's just the way it is. We'll just gotta review these trades, go over them, and learn from them, and come back next week stronger. So anyways, guys, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below if you guys have any recommendations of what you want to see coming into the future for trading videos, or any sort of videos at all. And I will see you guys in the next one.